Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about pointers. So this week, we will discuss everything about pointers. What are pointers? How to declare a pointer? What are the uses of pointers? Then pointer arithmetic. And after that, we will be checking about how to work with arrays and pointers with 1D array, 2D array, and then how to pass pointer as function argument. So everything what is about pointer, we are going to discuss this week. So let's say what are pointers. Pointers are simple variables that can store address of another variable. Pointer cannot store anything else. They can store only address of another variable. So consider this declaration. However, we have discussed this declaration so many times. When I write int x is equal to 3. As soon as I write int x is equal to 3, what compiler do? Compiler reserves a memory space. Compiler reserves a memory space to hold an integer variable and give its name as x and store the value 3 to this space. So these three things are done by compiler as soon as we write int x is equal to 3. So when we discuss about pointers, pointers are frequently used in C++ language and they are the number of useful applications. First one is to pass information back and forth between functions and its reference point. We use pointers. It enables programmers to return multiple data items from a function via function argument. So we said that it can return only one value, but with the help of pointer, multiple data items can be returned. Provide an alternative way to access individual element of array. So we can access an individual element of array directly by putting its index, and through pointers we have an alternative way to access individual element of arrays. To pass arrays and string as function argument, we can pass arrays and string as function argument with the help of pointer also. It is useful to create complex data structures like tree, linked list, queues, graph, and it is used for dynamic memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation means at runtime, when we do not allocate memory when we write the program, only when we run the when we run the program, it allocates the memory. So these are the basic use of pointers. So dynamic pointer variables, a pointer variable provides an access to a variable by using the address of that variable. How to declare a pointer? We simply declare data type and pointer name. So when we write data type and pointer name, it means we are declaring a pointer. For example, int asterisk pnum, char asterisk pch, float asterisk fnum. So how to declare pointer? Let's discuss. Let's say we want to declare a pointer. So let's say I write int asterisk ptr. So this asterisk tells the compiler that this is a pointer variable. So if you want to declare a variable, if you want to declare a pointer, you should declare that variable with any name starting with asterisk. So this asterisk, first thing is that asterisk tells the compiler that it is a pointer variable. Asterisk tells about pointer. Okay, so whenever if any variable is declared with starting with asterisk, compiler knows that this is a pointer. Now when I write int asterisk pointer, it means that this ptr can store address of an integer variable. Pointers are to store address of any variable, and when I write int asterisk ptr, it means ptr can store address of an integer. ptr can store address of an integer. If I write float asterisk ptr1, what does it mean? It means ptr1 can store address of a float variable. Can store address of a float variable. And what does it mean when I say store address? How it will store the address? So let's say I have an integer variable x. Let's say I have an integer variable x and I have an integer pointer int asterisk ptr. Now it means this ptr can store address of any integer. So for example, we want to assign address of this x. Address means memory address. Address of this x to ptr. So we will write ptr is equal to ampersand x. Now this ptr has address of x. So now this ptr is associated with x. What does it mean? It means this x is any variable. Okay, and this ptr is another variable. But what is ptr? Ptr is pointer. So it can store only address of another variable. And let's say address of x is 1000. So ptr will store 1000. So this asterisk ptr, this asterisk is also called value at the address operator. Value at the address operator. Value at the address operator, and this ampersand is known as address of operator. Address of operator. In some books, this is known as L value and this is known as R value. Okay, so it means ptr is equal to address of x. So whatever is the address of x, that will be stored in ptr. When I write asterisk ptr, it means value at the address of whatever is stored here. So for example, if I write for example, let's say this x is equal to 5. So 5 is here. Now when I say cout asterisk ptr, what does it mean? When I say cout asterisk ptr, it means value at the address of which address? Whatever is stored in ptr. So it means value, what value is stored? 5. So it means asterisk ptr and x are same thing. We can store it. When I say cout ptr. So what is ptr? Ptr is address of x. So now this time it will give you address of x, that is 1000. So let's check this on Visual Studio and then we will move further. So this is about introduction to pointers. Sorry. This is about introduction to pointers. And what introduction say? Let's say I write a variable x that is equal to 5. This is a simple integer variable. Value of x is equal to 15. I declare another pointer asterisk ptr, and what I say? This ptr holds the address of x. Ptr holds the address of x. Okay. So up to now it is okay. Now I will print 4 things. Cout x. This is pointer variable. This is address of operator. Operator. Pointer can store only address of another variable. Can store only address of another variable. You cannot store anything else in pointer. Okay, so if I write cout x, this is quite simple. Then cout asterisk ptr. So asterisk ptr means value at the address. Value at the address. Then if I write cout ampersand x, it means it is going to give us address of x. Or if I write cout x, sorry, cout ptr. So this will also give me address of x. So first two and last two things should be same. Address of x and value stored in ptr, that is address of x. That is address of X. So let's run it first. First two things should be 15 and second two should be same, that is equal to address of X. See, X is 15, yes, asterisk PTR, value is stored at the address, whatever is stored in PTR. So PTR address is this, PTR is this, value stored at this address is 15. So both are 15 and both addresses are same. So this is how pointer work. Now whatever change I will make to pointer, that will reflect in X also. For example, I write PTR is equal to 20. So it means whatever value is stored at the address, which address? The address which is stored in PTR. So it will directly go, like for example, how it will work. So let's say this is my X. Okay, this is my X and initially X is equal to 15. Now I say this is my PTR, and what is PTR? PTR is address of X, and let's say address of X is 1000. So PTR is 1000. So when I say asterisk PTR, value is stored at this address. Whatever value is stored at this address, 15. Now when I say asterisk PTR is equal to 20, it means value at the address, which address is stored in PTR, that should be 20. So address is 1000, so this value will be changed to 20. So now X will be 20. So now either you can work with pointer. So through pointer you can means directly access the memory locations, or you can write X is equal to 20. Both statements are same. So let's check it. Then we will move further. So let's say cout X and cout asterisk PTR. So let's copy paste it here. Sorry. So now both should be 20. Let's run it and check it. See, 20 and 20. When I say that int asterisk PTR means it can store only address of, not another, it can store only address of integer variable. So it means if I have another variable, that is, let's say float y. Okay, if any point of time, if I write here, let's say I write here y is equal to, okay, let's just delete it. Okay, or let's say here I want to change the address. If I write y is equal to, sorry, PTR is equal to ampersand y. So this will be an error. What is the error? What error says? Error says cannot be assigned to an entity of type int asterisk. Float cannot be assigned to an entity of type int asterisk. So it means this PTR can store only address of any integer variable. Okay, for example, this y is an integer, int y, and let's say y is equal to 2. So at any point of time you can assign this pointer to another variable. Now this pointer is associated with y. Now if you make any change in this PTR, let's say PTR is equal to 2. So now it will not change the value of x. Value of x will be 20, but it will change the value of y because now it is associated with y. Let's run it. Okay, y is already 2. So I should make it, let's say 12, just to make a check the difference. See, now y is 12, x is 20, because after this point, this PTR is associated with y. So this is one thing. Second thing is that I said it can store only address of any variable. Okay, it cannot store anything else. For example, you cannot say PTR is equal to 20. This is going to give you an error. Error says a value of type int cannot be assigned to an entity of type int asterisk. You can only assign address of any variable to this pointer. If you have a character variable, then you should declare a character pointer to store the address of character variable. So this was the basic about pointers. Then in the next video, we will be discussing more details about pointers. So I told you in this video, I told you that what are pointer, how to declare a pointer, how to assign address of any variable to a pointer, and what are the basic operations you can perform. Now in the next video, we will check about arithmetic operations on pointers. Thank you.